The Iceman cometh. Winter is coming. If it's your first time joining my channel, my name is Seth, also known as Lucifer, also known as Major Hater 1523. I'm a business and spiritual consultant. Welcome. Okay, I'm jealous. I am envious. I'm green with envy, and I am jealous at the same time. You want to know why? Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, man. Scientology, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Dudes got millionaires walking into that office. Millionaires walking into his office asking, save me, show me the path. You show me the path which I must undertake to reach the higher level. That shit F me up, man. That gunks my engine right there, man. That gunks my engine. Cause you sitting here, man, and you got like real spiritual knowledge and shit. And then you got like a guy like Tom Cruise who makes like $25-50 million a movie, walking in there getting overcharged. I mean, of course I'm gonna overcharge you. You ain't gonna walk up in here with all your millions and I ain't gonna take a little bit, man. Like, come on, I got something that you want, I'm gonna charge you. You know what I mean, man? So of course he's getting overpriced up in that place, man. I don't know how much they charge his ass, but it's probably a lot of money. And they probably don't charge him, but they're like, oh, we got a foundation event, Mr. Cruz. I would be very pleased that you could attend it. And our foundation is trying to raise $200 billion, man. Maybe you could help us out achieve that goal, right? Even if the dude don't achieve that 200 billion, don't matter. Tom Cruise just gave you 10 million. You're gonna put at least 8 million in your pockets. Yo, you're gonna put at least 8 million in your pockets out of the 10 million. Easy. So I'm just saying, man, I feel messed up about this, bro. I feel it's janky, man. It's dodgy, bro. This is dodgy and janky shit, man, because dudes are looking for spirituality and shit. And you're sitting there, right? And you're sitting there and you're looking at the dudes walking into shams and scams. Like what the hell is going on here? What is happening? I don't understand what is happening. So, I'm envious. I'm green with envy, and I'm fucking jealous. You know what I mean? I am jealous of Scientology. I am envious of Scientology because I know it's a sham. Everybody knows it's a sham. So I'm like kind of wondering, why is everybody walking up in there, man? Like, what's going on here? And it's probably darker than I think, because there's some dark. Scientology has a very dark past. I mean like kidnappings and all kinds of shit, right? So it's kind of weird, and I'm like, man, this comes right back to what I was saying about the kids that are misled and shit, and the kids that don't have a family. This is the reason why I don't want to, I don't want to look like a bully, because I know, like some people might not know, but I know why. I'm having a little bit of video problem. I know why you joined, man, and it's because you're lonely. You know, you're surrounded by people, but they're kind of like they're your entourage. You know, they're not really, they can't bring you what you're looking for. You're looking to fill a gap. You know, you're looking to fill a hole. So you join up like cults that give you promises of communicating with aliens and shit, man, because it fills a gap. You know it's bullshit. You know for a fact it's bullshit. Nobody even needs to tell you that it's bullshit. You already know. You just don't care because they're gonna treat you like family. They're gonna make you feel welcome. They're gonna give you a warm welcome. They're gonna treat you like family. You know, they're gonna give you things. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna be there for. They're there for you whenever you need to have a real talk, a spiritual talk. So they're filling a gap that most of your entourage cannot fill because that's not their field of expertise. So I understand, you know, and it might be something worse than that. It could be like some like Pizzagate shit. I don't know. But, you know, me from my perspective, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, this is so fucking wrong. Like, this is so wrong, and I can't, like, you know. Anyway, it's janky shit, man. It's like I had some material prepared, you know, because I'm gonna show it to you anyway, man. Like the breatharians, you know, it's people that believe that they can live off of just breathing air, right? The breatharians, and it's like a cult. And you can't survive just by eating air. I mean, spiritually speaking, the theory is a real theory. And it still makes sense. To me, it makes sense to be able to feed off light because you are made of light anyway. So it'd be just normal to feed off the thing that made you. It's like it's like animals eat other animals. So, you know, they eat what they came from. Right? So, in essence, it makes sense. The only problem with that is we've been duped for so many years, you know, and the notion of eating air is impossible right now. Not for one singular human. The notion of eating air would have to be a consequent pathological behavior, because our regular pathological behavior dictates that we must eat to survive. So our DNA is encoded with the memory of hunger and the exercise of going hungry, right? Because everything's a muscle. So, you know, if we've practiced eating for generations and generations, for at least 1,000,000 years. Well, according to scientists, about 100,000 or so. 100,000 years, we've, you know, 50,000 years, we've trained our bodies to eat. You know, we don't know anything before that. So one singular person cannot become what you would have to rely on science in order to stop eating, because now you have to hack into your DNA sequence to recombinate it in order to actually eat air, or actually let your DNA recognize air as food. So it's basically, and then once, and it's a lot harder than it sounds, because your DNA has to recognize all the nutrient and different acids in the atmosphere in order for you to be able to feed off of it, which we cannot do because our DNA, we're not mutated in that way. We mutated into carnivores. We didn't mutate into light eaters, right? So even though you started the process, saying that you can just eat air is a bold-faced lie. because your DNA is not built that way. It's a good thing that you practiced, and maybe when you're gonna have a child, that child can also practice, and other people can practice, and so on and so on, and eventually there'll be some air eaters. But as of this moment right now, 2021, there is no way, shape, or form that you can actually live off of eating air. The thing is, my point is, Breatharians are kind of a cult. They believe in it cold-heartedly, and they act like a cult. They will act snob with carnivores or omnivores, which are humans. They will not accept other humans. They will treat them as lesser than men, right? And most cults do that because they believe that their way is the right way and everybody else's way is the wrong way. I'm guilty of doing that too sometimes, you know. But I still believe that I have discernment, and I can be wrong. You know, if I'm wrong, I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm wrong. But in some cases, some cult or some sects don't actually recognize where they had faults, and they don't rely on any form of scientific basis. They rely on scientific basis that acknowledges their delusions, right? Which means it doesn't matter if it's pseudoscience, it doesn't matter if it's theoretical science. If it says that it agrees with them, it agrees with them, period. It's like flat earthers. Flat earthers is another sect. People that are flat earthers will literally fight you to the death, like in the medieval times, because you say that the earth isn't flat. I'm sorry to tell you, the earth isn't flat. Now, the thing is, scientifically, you are living on a plane, right? Because you are just refracting light. So that means if you were able to see on the 5th or 12th dimension, because apparently there's 12 dimensions. I haven't gone beyond 5 or 6, but whatever. But apparently there's 12 dimensions. So I'm guessing somewhere between the 5th and the 12th dimension, you could probably see the earth as being flat, because all of the light has, instead of refracting light and bending light off of everything, you're not seeing light bend. You're looking at light directly. So if you're looking at light directly, it's gonna look 2D, right? So nothing would bend. There would be no shapes, right? You would just see everything as a flat surface, everything. So it'd be like being God, you know, but we don't see like that. We refract light. Our eyes refract light from every surface. Everything is a light refraction happening, activity. So yeah, the earth is flat. The earth is the earth is flat. The earth is round. It's not flat. Not in actuality. Not in reality. And more so, light can become solid, right? Because everything is made out of atoms, and atoms is just pure energy, right? So my table, this table is solid wood, because that's the kind of DNA sequences that wood has. It's solid. Water has a different DNA sequence. So molecular sequence. So since water has a different molecular sequence, it's not solid. You can pass through it. So most things have different molecular structures because of how we manipulate it, right? And how things evolve. The way we interact with life dictates the molecular sequence of whatever is and whatever will be. There's a lot of scientists that are discovering new species of animals almost every day. Maybe some of those animals were made in a laboratory somewhere, which I'm starting to think that's the case because there's a lot of damn animals that I've never seen before people talking about, and it's kind of getting weird because it seems like every week there's a new animal that comes out, so it's kind of sus, right? But nevertheless, I still believe that that would happen. Not as frequently as I can see that it's happening, but I still think that it would happen. And the reason for that is it's because of our interactivity with life. The amount of pollution that we throw in the water, or the amount of time that we actually clean the water. Maybe the clean water is permitting animals to evolve. Maybe the dirty water is actually permitting animals to evolve, right? Maybe hot water makes fishes and underwater mammals, evolve, and maybe cold water there's a bunch of species that we have no idea of, and there's new species that are still going to come in the future because of our interactivity. That's why the molecules in the air change. So molecules, atoms, can become solid. Because you're probably thinking, well, the earth is not flat because there's ground, and where there's ground, that means the earth is not flat. That is totally fucking true. Earth is a different kind of molecular sequence. Dirt and earth and sand are basically the same, but one is an evolution of the other. If you put water in on earth, on ground earth, it becomes mud. If the mud dries, it becomes sand. Or if you mix sand with rocks, it becomes cement. You add some tar, which is boiling hot mud, it becomes asphalt. So everything is a scientific formula. Everything is an evolution of everything else. So yes, we are refracting light. And yes, a light can become solid. And yes, if you reach the 12th dimension, that is far beyond anything else reachable by human standards, then yeah, you would see the earth being flat. You would see everything as a flat level because you're not refracting light anymore. You're just seeing things for what they truly are at its essence. So I'm sitting here, watching, flat earthers and breatharians and Scientology and, all kinds of weird shit. And you're sitting there and you know all these things, and you just see a bunch of seemingly important people, right? Or people that look like they got their shit together, going straight for a sham and a scam, some hoopla, snake oil, buffoonery. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm green with jealousy. I am green with envy. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop fucking with you, man. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop. This video is too damn long anyways. I'm out of here, man. Peace out. Don't forget to share and subscribe. Peace.